Good morning. Welcome to the Namaste experience, the Namaste adventure, the adventure of Namaste. We've used lots of terms this week. You know why that's possible? Because Spirit is infinite in expression. I was going to go through and count how many times I said that this week. And after 12, I got tired. Again, the joy of doing the week's wrap-up, right? I'd like for you to take a little breath. It's been a big week. When was the last time I said it's been a little week? When was the last time that happened? Right? Because, again, infinite in expression are our lives. Our lives are infinite in expression. Take a breath. Take another breath. Funny, we talk about the noise in our life. We have a little bit of that going on right now here in Namaste. Yeah. Whatever that noise is in your life, in your space, in this moment, I want you to bring it into your heart. Let it rest there for a moment. I hear a saw. I see beautiful woodworking. I hear a bird. I see life. I hear a saw. I see someone making a living, feeding a family, being their expression. I hear love. What do you hear in the noise of your life? Man, I'm going to run with that some Sunday morning. You just watch.
Can you be a little louder?
Sure.
Can you be a little louder, please?
Sure. I'm guessing I can do that without cutting us off. Okay. No, that's the wrong way. Yeah, how about that? Is that better, love? No? Okay. I hear love in the noise of my life. Sometimes, but not always. And how many experiences have we had this week? I know I could use a breath or two, right? Feel that divine presence within you, because all of it translates back to that when we remember. You know, we have run from, I don't know, ladybugs to Captain Kirk this week, right? Throw in a little cartel activity and man, you got a big week. Oh, I am not being dismissive. And for those that aren't in Namaste Village, we've had a little activity here this week, and I'm sure if you're anywhere close to any source of media, you've heard about that. And I'm sure you've heard a story. I know I had one running in my head about all that. This week we've been visited by a very special ladybug who brought us back to the forgotten song that James reminded us of. We walked through Vicky's Winter Wonderland. Remember, she showed us the snow? What was that stuff again? Oh, wait, no, here it is. Let it snow at Vicky's house. We love you sharing the pictures of that snow with us. Yeah. And Captain Kirk, he reminded us that when they realized that they were experiencing an illusion, that is when they got to leave it. It was almost as if Captain Kirk was channeling the Course in Miracles. And that was just Monday, by the way. The song Within was that video that James blessed us with, which was a reflection of this community and how it responded to the experience on Sunday. I had written something clever about how we celebrated the activity of the cartel. And what we got reminded of on Sunday, coming together with the information that there was cartel activity and that we should practice sheltering in place. Do you know what this community did? They acted like, all right, we hear that. We see people safe and loved. We see people stepping away from the fear and remembering that they are held by the divine. And we ate. We had some good chow, thanks to the best restaurant in Ahihi, right here in Namaste. And we laughed, and we talked, and we cried, and we connected, and we chattered about the news. Of course we did. And we comforted each other as the community that we are. Good job. Round of applause for you. That's what I'm saying. This is living the truth of who we are, and we did that in the face of whatever that news was. Where in your lives can you remember a time when you rallied the divinity that you were and you amped it up just a couple of notches and you said, Spirit is greater than this, and we're going to eat and we're going to feed our souls. And we're going to radiate that out into the world. And this is remembering the song within. This is singing the harmony that the universe put within us. Where in your life can you remember doing that? And if you can't, I'm going to tell you to get out there and do it today. Get out there with the song that the universe put within you that has always been there. In some of these moments this week, I have thought about that cartel leader that was taken off the planet. You know, that was somebody's baby. Now, I am not saying that was a well-behaved baby. But I am saying it was somebody's baby. Let us feel into and see the greatness in ourselves and our own divinity so that we might remember that that was the core of who that life was. Whatever derailment, whatever offshoot he took, that is a divine child of God, and we are invited into it every week. Right here, remembering. That's what we're doing. Food, laughter, connection, conversation, joining at its best. And do you know, in some interesting way, we have that cartel leader to thank. Let's be there. Let's be there. And walk and be the truth that we are. That's what we talked about this week. And simply do this, James said. Simply do this. Be still and know that I am. Simply do this. Return home to the core of who you are. Simply do this. And right on time, the saws come in when I get ready to talk about construction. It was all planned. Somewhere. James likened that just do it this way to how he imagined I might have been on a construction site as a construction project manager. He must have read the memo. I like to say I'm easy to get along with as long as I get my way. And when you are in the production and construction, that's lovely music, the production and the construction of your life, you have to listen, I believe, to the inner spirit and the divine thought. You have to hear the guidance that comes from within. I know when we were building buildings of great mass, so that people could go and spend hard-earned money for no reason, right? No karma in that, I'm sure. No, I've cleared all that out. But when we were doing that, it was about listening to the instruction. And you can have some creative thought, can't you, sometimes in your life, how you want to hear spirit and how you want to express what you think you hear or what you think you want to hear. See? And then you eventually come back to, this is our guidance. Do it this way. Simply do it this way. I don't know. It built buildings. And I noticed that it's blessed me in my life to take a breath and simply do it Spirit's way. I asked the question, how many of you have won arguments with God? I didn't get any takers, or I didn't get anybody saying that they had, because I was looking for the formula. And what we know is Spirit will wait while we argue and think of new ways to do it and have a good idea. Spirit will wait. Amanda Mai said this. She emphasizes quieting the mind and shedding worldly notions and releasing judgments. Now, there's a place to start. There's a thought. Quieting our minds so that Spirit can be clearly heard. As we were reminded to simply listen, simply connect, simply be present. Man, I did not say it was easy, but it is simple. James reminded us of Yogananda's focus on entering a sacred chamber of silence. Jesus said, go into your room and close the door so that you might hear the voice that has always been who you are, what you are. And Thomas Merton reminded us that stillness is surrender. It is here that we relinquish rather than accumulate. I like the idea of deconstruction and new beginnings. We talked about that. Oh, no saws for the construction segue. That imploding, that breaking down. Man, that is not always a fun place, is it? Over 3 months it took us to haul off the debris of a 26-acre project that we imploded on the Las Vegas Strip while they were still doing what they do on the Las Vegas Strip. Ever try to carry off the debris in your life and be that quiet about it? Ever try to see what needs to be released so that you can open to the greater good that the universe has for you and not express it? It's difficult. It takes a lot longer. Feel it. Be present. Know that those around you join with you in this journey. You are not alone. And this is when we start to experience that longing for God that we talked about this week. When I am available and allowing Spirit to be seen in me, even with its foibles, as I might show up in my human experience and expression. Spirit never changing. Spirit always there and always has been, see? That letting go of that resistance. I remember watching that building come down. It's fascinating. I have a DVD, we should share that someday. And you could see the resistance in the materials. You could see the different levels of resistance in the materials. Are there areas in your life that you're more resistant to receiving Spirit's guidance and love and care? Let it go. That's what we talked about. And remember, Spirit will wait. You're the one calling the timing. We can do it the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. And Vicki brought in her magic wand and invited us in. That in that breaking down and in that opening up to allow Spirit to fill us, to express through us, to shine our lights. To shine our lights, as she says with her magic wand. And she reminded, this was really clever, that God is always shining on us, but in the resistance, we prevent God's love to shine through us. Hang on to that one. See, God's light is always shining on us. And as we're deconstructing and we're rearranging and we're rebuilding, it is only in the resistance that God's light isn't invited to shine through us. Stop it. Just stop it. I love the examples of shining that Vicki gave us. You know, we had the monk's walk. We had Alyssa Lou's Olympic journey. Never to forget Lou's paper plate messages. If that isn't serving up divinity, I don't know what is. Fun to hear that story, Vicki. Such a nice piece of your life and what has inspired you to write messages of love and to distribute them on paper plates. Come on now. That's pretty original. That's pretty powerful. And then James asked this question: what would you do to be you? Capital Y. What would you do to be you? And I invited you into looking at your life. If you want to know what you're being, look at your life. This human expression is the opportunity for our divinity to express into the world. Are you letting that happen? Or are you shutting the universe down and making it wait? Look at your life. We are the light of the world. Take that in. We are the light of the world. I think that's pretty cool. Makes me want to jump in that cherry red hot rod, right? And take that joy ride. Take a spin with the awakening that we are. That hidden engine of power that resides within us. I say, put on your seatbelt, let's go. Let's take it for a joy ride. And let's be the crazy diamonds that we are. Let's shine into the world. Let's be the joy that we are invited into even when the cartel is throwing a party. Let's shine into the world. Do you see how much it's needed? Do you see what it is to be joyfully insane, as Scott reminded us? That hidden engine of awakening, where we forget the small W wants and we step into the big W wants, where we long for grace and we long to be connected more deeply so that we might express the infinite that moves through us. This isn't just fluff. This is our work. Now, it's our work. I loved what Vicki said. Jesus, I trust in you, and keep a pitch of joy. Joy. Just open yourself. Just open yourself. And remembering to know the ever-present divine is not something to be reached for, but to be rested into, is what we talked about. That longing, that song that you are. Take it for a spin. Take it for a joyride. And I can't think of anyone else that could do that better than Miss Vicki. And I'll bet she brought snacks for the joyride, and I'm hoping it's baklava. It's all yours, my love.
Why, thank you, Reverend Penny. Good morning, everybody. And Penny, you set me up. I have to give you another Louis story. This one's a good. So what are all these stories? These stories are all spell breakers, right? All of them. All the things we talk about. They're to break that spell of isolation and fear, because that's the big hypnosis. We're afraid, we're alone, and we think we're in charge, and oh no. So how do we break those spells? So this is a good one, and it's true. And I'm from Louis. So Louis at this time still had been in bed a few years. Remember, he's 91 at this time, and but he's still very active and strong. And one day I walked in the room, and he was aggravating me about something. I said, Daddy, I do everything you ask me to do. I bring you breakfast, I'm smiling. I wear the sparkles. I do everything you tell me to do. And I said, but Daddy, why are you aggravating me? Why are you aggravating me? And he said, come here, kid. Louis is 5 feet now. He's a little guy. And he grabs me, and I come over to the side of his bed, and he grabs me by the shoulders, and he looks at right in my eyes, and he said, kid, don't you know I got to do this to you until you laugh at everything? I said, oh, I do know that, Daddy. Spell broken, bam, just like that, bam. Spell broken. I said, Daddy, I do know that. And he said, okay, kid. And that was the last time. Never again did he aggravate me. He was like, I'm saying, why are you aggravating me? He was looking for things to aggravate me with whatever it was. He never, never did it again. I never needed him to do it again. And it broke the spell. Don't you know I got to do this till you laugh at everything? Now, he didn't get the understanding, or maybe he did, that it's all not as it appears. There was another thing he used to say, Kinnu Makan. In Arabic, it would say, now you see it, now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't. And he did have that experience. And in my inner heart, I knew what it meant. Now you see love as all there is, and then you look at some form that scares you and it's gone. Now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't. Same with love. When we look to get love, we lose it. When we look to give love, we can see everything. We can see in that cartel leader, that innocent baby, that child of divinity, that's our brother. We can see that. We look to keep our safety or protect ourselves, and we lose it. In fact, Brenda, where's Brenda? Brenda's here this morning. Brenda, you said it perfectly during our prayer time. How do you break a spell? You apply all this stuff. You apply mindfulness. You apply the breath, the awareness, stay present to what is true. We apply living by the inner music, not by the outer chaos. Listen to the inner music. But this is what Brenda said. Brenda, let's see if I get it right and tell me if I'm wrong. And we had to get her a couple of times because the internet was not stable. And she said, oh, application, that's easy. Apply love. That's it. Right? Thank you, Brenda. Apply love. Don't apply trying to get love. Apply love. Application, no matter what's going on, welcome, love it, let it pass. And be stable in that love, in present love, in present simplicity. That was apply love. That's the answer. Break all your spells, apply love. So, apply love. Listen to the inner music. Stay conscious to love, not to symptoms. Symptoms of destruction in all kinds of ways. Stay conscious of the love that's bubbling up within us, and it will continue to bubble up until that's all we see. Now you see it, now you don't. Let's just see it. We are seeing it together. And I see Scott in the room. We have Scott on. You have internet? We're good? Okie dokie. So that's it. Thank you, everyone, for coming to answer every call yesterday, those of you that came. And thanks for a wonderful week in every way. I love you all. Thank you. Thank you, Penny.
Thank you, dear Vicki. Apply love. Well, that pretty much wraps it up, don't you think? Right? All right, now, do you have a situation in your life? Because if you don't have one, I've got plenty to share. Do you have a situation in your life? Now, think about that. Now, right now, see yourself applying love. See, you don't even need a magic wand. And to that, we say, Amen, 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 e Kuto. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Penny.
Okay, we unplugged everybody. I'm not sure what happened. You're welcome.
Oops, sorry. Goes to Scott.
Woo, apply love.
Scott's going to use this.
I'm wondering.
Oh.